guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. How you guys doing? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to talk about, well, a skill, an ability that only 3 champions in the game actually can do 100% of the time on an AoE. And then there's another like 5, 6, 7, 8 or so that can do it at a very undependable or conditional AoE as well that still deserve the spotlight kind of shed on them. But before we get to those champions, guys, how are you all doing? I just want to flex this real quick. I did so well on my first Hydra Clan boss run.
Good for you.
Right now in a new rotation. Check this out, guys. I mean, granted, it's on normal, but man, this team rocked it. 68 million. Granted, it's a little pay to win. It has Venus, Mashald, Cupidus, Duchess, and then Ninja and Rector Droth. Boy, that was definitely my most effective Hydra Clan boss team as of yet. How about you guys? Also, how are you guys doing on your New Year's? How's your start to the year? Me personally, the biggest thing that I'm working on this year is putting away my device.
We're gonna be here a while.
Not here to get up on a soapbox and give you guys a big long speech about it. I'm just talking about me personally. I have found myself to be, I hate to admit this, I hate to admit it, but a little bit extra distracted over the last year or two. You know, I'll be around my son at night and we'll be playing, and then every 5-10 minutes, just kind of glancing at the old mobile device, seeing what's going on. And to me, it's just like, I don't want to be that guy. Even though it's just a moment of distraction, I really just want to live in the moment more, because this is life. Every single day, this is it. I feel like we're always trying to get somewhere, and we're not taking a step to kind of enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride is so cliche, but you get what I'm saying? Just live in the moment without being all like super hippie about it. That's my resolution. That's my #1 thing that I want to change about myself, man. I want to be doing what I'm doing and not distracted by any social media, any emails, text messages, whatever I've got going on. My latest thing the last few months has been kind of like NFTs and stuff like that. And I don't want to be doing research. Don't want to be open in open sea. I just want to be living in the moment and really taking it all in, you know? When's the last time that you guys have, like, you know, walked around and not been inclined to look at your device at all for a long stretch of time, you know, and just really soak it all in? For me, it's been a while. So hopefully you guys, you know, maybe some of you guys can join me in that journey. Sorry for the long preamble, guys. Wasn't intended to go 3 minutes on my New Year's resolution. But anyway, guys, here we go. So 3 champions in the game have the ability to either put skills entirely on cooldown, which is just amazing. There's no way to, you know, put up a block debuffs and resist that. Let me clarify. 3 champions in the game can either put block active skills debuff on, or just simply put the cooldown on all of their skills. So the only champion in the game, this is what makes him one of the best champions inside the entire game, that can just straight up 100% on an AoE, put all the opponent's skills on cooldown. We're not talking about stunning them. Not talking about provoking them. This cannot be removed, this debuff. It's not a debuff. It's just putting their skills on cooldown. 100% chance win booked. And then we can fully deplete, each target turn meter on top of that. Dude, Orcish Rituals is an insane ability, man. There's no ability in the game that even touches this in terms of crowd control. They're stuck just using their A1 until all of their skills can come off cooldown again. And again, you can't resist this unless you have like enough resistance or not enough accuracy on your Warlord. So yeah, I mean, this is the Kuda Grab. This is the #1 of all of the CC abilities in the game.
Wait a minute.
How's that even possible?
There are 2 champions that have 100% AoE block active skills. So it's kind of like a soft version of what Warlord does. Let's go ahead and start with a champion that we really never talk about here on the channel. One of the kind of legacy champions in the game is Logan the Steadfast.
I swear to God, I'm smart.
So Logan, if we look at his entire kit here, he's healing all allies based on damage inflicted on his A1 with a shield on himself. So a really solid A1, he's an HP-based champion. On the A2, increased defense on this champion for 3 turns, and then an ally protect on everybody else for 2 turns. This ability has been power crept a little bit. You know, back in the day, this is something special. Ally Protect on a 4-turn cooldown with increased defense on himself, on Bodyguard. Now I'd like to see this on a 3-turn cooldown. Either way, still not a bad ability, right? Considering he has this Mark of Silence, which is still not been power crept, an incredible ability. Attacks all enemies, 4-turn cooldown, 100% chance of placing block active skills for 2 turns. So for 2 turns, the enemies can only use their A1. Sure, you have to put up with their A1. Sure, you could get a resist and then have somebody cleanse the other team, which is, you know, why this is the soft version of the Warlord ability. But still, I mean, they're stuck using their A1 2 turns in a row, right? That's like a 2-turn provoke, like Umbral Enchantress. It's really, really good. Very good ability, very good champion, a little bit underrated champion, really solid base stats too. Look at all the HP he has. Decent amount of defense as well. Kind of awkward that the damage is based on attack on an HP-based champion. Kind of wish they would change that. HP on his A1, kind of weird, but either way, you're not looking at damage for this guy necessarily. It's really to CC the enemy team using that amazing ability, excuse me. Next one is going to be, guys, this champion, man, I think people know she's like pretty good. She's the newest out of the 3 champions that we're talking about here, but boy, is she really good. Countess Licks is a very good champion. If you have her, I implore you, if you're not using her a lot, revisit this champion and consider using her more often because she has a weaken on the A1, 2-time hitter. On the A2, attack all enemies 3 times with the decreased speed. 100% chance of placing decreased speed for 2 turns. Each hit also has a 100% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10% on each hit. So we can get 30% turn meter reduction as well on a 4-turn cooldown. That's really good, but really time dilation, guys. Attacks all enemy, 100% chance of placing block active skills. And there's more, it gets better. Also decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion by 1 turn. That's really good. Granted, 7-turn cooldown, 5-turn when booked, but it's a really, really insane ability. Also fills this champion turn meter by 5% every time an ally receives a debuff. Not bad, man. She's a really, really good champion. So Lugan, the Steadfast, Countess Licks, and Warlord, those are the only champions that have a 100% chance on an AoE unconditional of landing those CC abilities. Those 3 champions, very special in my eyes. Now, a lot of honorable mentions. I'm going to mention them all to you guys. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over all their kits, but I will mention the ability in, you know, that's the subject of today's video. Blood Gorged. Okay, I will mention a little bit on him, right? He has this ability right here, the A3. This Decapitate has, you know, when decapacitated.
No hablo inglés.
I don't know why I've struggled with that word.
Great story. Compelling and rich.
One of the harder hitting single target abilities in the game, and it blocks revival. Very, very good champion. Another kind of underrated champion. Aesthetically, I don't know about you guys. He's kind of like Nethral's evil dark brother or something. I don't know what he's got going on here. Aesthetically, he doesn't really do it for me. What about you guys? Anyway, he's very slow too. Kind of sucks, but whatever. In AoE, put 1 of each target skills on cooldown, but it's on a 3-turn cooldown. So not bad, you know. Some enemies, some, you know, champions only have 1 active skill anyway, right? So you can get it done on Raging Beast ability. Very good in the arena. You can, you know, CC enemies a little bit here, the A2, and you can also kill them in 1 shot and block revival. Next up is going to be, of course, everybody's favorite champion. We talk about this, and it's Hegemon. So Hegemon, man, I still don't have this dude. He always goes first, which is great for the arena, and then attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing block active skills for 2 turns. There we go. What more do I need to say? You guys are probably familiar with Hegemon. Very, very, very good champion. By Stofus, another champion we don't talk about a lot here on the channel. He's kind of an interesting dude. On his A3, he has an attack all enemies. This is on a 4-turn cooldown, can't be booked up even more than that, but it has a 75% chance of placing a block active skills for 2 turns and decreased defense. Not bad at all. Crumble is an underrated ability in the game, especially when we talk about how rare block active skills is inside this game. Next up is going to be, this one's a little cheesy here, but we're talking about my favorite bear, Urson Ironhide. Now, you guys have been watching this channel for any amount of time. You know I love this dude, man. I love the black bear. He's a really cool champion, part of the battle pass. He's not OP or anything, but he has this kind of cool passive here. Each has a 50% chance, 100 when booked. 100% chance of decreasing target's turn meter by 7.5%. Okay, not bad. And then each hit and he has an AoE attack, by the way, right? Over here, sorry. Each hit has a 100% chance of putting one of the target skills on cooldown if the target is under decreased crit rate. Now, back in the day, there was only one other champion in the entire game when he was released who had decreased crit rate. It was his brother, the White Bear. Where are you, the White Bear? He has decreased crit rate in his kit as well, right? But there's a lot more now. There's Visionary being a most recent one on an AoE, decreased crit damage, decreased crit rate. So you can explore some kind of fun potential there with the AoE of the Black Bear in a champion like Visionary, a champion like Urson Ironhide, or excuse me, the White Bear, whatever his name is. Urson Ice Crusher. Ow! But, you know, it's a little bit of a cheesy addition to this list because it's very, very conditional. Speaking of very conditional here, guys, we have another champion. We have a couple hexers on the list. Vildrax being one of them. He's an AoE hex on the A2, and then he has a 100% chance of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs, okay, when hitting enemies under hex, has a 80% chance of putting one of their skills on cooldown. So again, conditional with the hex. Speaking of conditional with the hex, let's go over to Skinwalkers. I believe, yes, I always forget where she is. It's Cleopatrix. So Cleo here is the daily login reward champion that we get instead of Sacred Shards. Yay. I don't know. I've built her, but I haven't done a guide on her yet. Let me know if you guys want me to. She has increased crit rate on his champion, block active skills if the target is under hex. So, it's an AoE attack on a 3-turn cooldown, 100% land rate of block active skills for 2 turns. However, you need to set her up with a hex. Again, on the right team with the right setup, could be a very lethal ability, but it's very conditional as well. There's 2 more champions, guys, and I bet some of you watching know them. Know them very well, because we talked about both these champions quite a bit on the channel. It's Fenax, or Fenax. His is you know, it's a great ability, block buffs for 2 turns. Great, right? 80% chance of landing. Place block active skills instead for 1 turn if the skill does not place the block buffs. Okay. So we'd rather have, it's weird, right? We'd rather have block active skills probably than block buffs, even though I love block buffs debuff as well. But we only get it if it doesn't place the block buffs. So at least he has it in his kit, but it's hard to say that's a dependable source for that ability, even though Fenax is an incredible champion in his own right. But we do have a rare that deserves mentioning here, guys, and it's none other than Bellower on his A1. Attacks all enemies, 30% chance of placing block active skills for 1 turn. Not bad. Really, Bellower is so incredible. We talked about him so many times here on the channel, but he has really decent debuffs on every single ability, and they're all AoEs. They're all hitting everybody. Sign me up, man! Block active skills on the A1, which is the best of his debuffs, right? And then he has decreased speed, the weak version, on an AoE on the A2, and then the weak version decreased attack and decreased defense on an AoE on his A3. I mean, what more can you ask out of a rare champion in this game? So there you have it, guys. Which of these are your favorite champion? Do you use any of these champions? Are you sleeping on the block active skills ability overall in the game, or increase the cooldown of all active skills in the game if you're lucky enough to have your have Warlord on your team, right? Either way, guys, I love all these champions. I feel like everybody should invest in at least one of these champions. They're really effective in controlling your enemies, even more effective in some cases than stunning, right? Than freezing your enemies. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching all the way till the end. I appreciate you guys. Have a lovely day, and as always, take care, guys.